Group demands Kanu's release. 100 billion naira compensation for Southeast states over the economic losses. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in and listening to this headline that we got to hear this morning. As our headline for this morning says that this group demands Nnamdi Kanu's release and a 100 billion naira compensation for the Southeast state over the economic losses. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Huriwa, has renowned its call for the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and demanded a compensation of 100 billion naira for the unconstitutional detention and dehumanization. The group also urged the federal government to compensate each of the southeast states with 100 billion naira to address the region's economic devastation caused by insecurity, mass arrest, and systematic neglect. Well, going further, in a statement issued on Tuesday by its national coordinator, Comrade Emmanuel Umbiku, Hudiwa criticized the federal government for its continued disregard for local court ruling and international human rights directive, including those of the United Nations Human Rights Council. The group said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, 30 months of detention without lawful cause, will represent a grave miscarriage of justice that undermines Nigeria's democracy and respect for the rule of law. The prolonged and unconstitutional incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not just a personal tragedy but a stain on Nigeria's commitment to justice, human rights, and democratic principles. We call for his immediate and unconditional release, as directed by multiple court rulings, and demand a public apology from the federal government alongside a 100 billion naira compensation for the dehumanization he has suffered, Huriwa said. The organization also noted that Kanu's detention has exacerbated insecurity in the southeast, resulting in a significant economic downturn for the region. Huriwa estimated that insecurity triggered by the government heavy-handed approach has cost the southeast billions in lost revenue, disrupted education, and heightened unemployment among the youth. The economic bleeding of the southeast zone, perpetuated by unlawful arrest and detention of hundreds of Igbo youth under the guise of belonging to IPOB, has created a climate of fear and instability. This has deterred investment, shuttered businesses, and left millions of people struggle to survive. The federal government must compensate each of the five southeast states with 100 billion naira to mitigate these economic losses and restore stability, the statement added. Hurrah then proposed that the compensation funds be managed by the Bank of Industry with a focus on skill acquisition, economic empowerment initiative targeting 1 million youth from each of the five East states. The organization argued that such an approach would provide tangible benefit and ensure that funds are not misappropriated by political actors and has been the case with similar initiatives. Well, while the federal government has reportedly approved the 300 billion naira take-off funds from the Southeast Development Commission, the history of zonal development commissions, such as the Niger Delta Development Commission, raises question and concern about transparency and accountability. Without strict oversight, the funding could end up being stiffened by politicians and fail to deliver meaningful deployment. We urge the government to explore alternative mechanisms to ensure effective utilization of these funds, Hurrah warned. The rights group also condemned the violence and insecurity plunging in the southeast, attributing much of the unrest to the federal government's failure to engage in meaningful dialogue with the region's stakeholders. Hurrah called for a comprehensive peace-building strategy supported by the United Nations to restore security, stability, and economic recovery in the southeast. Well, to end the cycle of violence in the southeast, the government must adopt a multi-pronged approach that includes dialogue with aggrieved groups, the release of political detainees, and investment in infrastructure and human capital development. We also call on the United Nations to assist in facilitating peace-building efforts to ensure that justice is served for the people in the southeast, the statement read. And that was what I was saying concerning this silence today this morning, which says here that release Nnamdi Kanu and compensate the southeast to 100 billion naira. Yes, of course, you had it for me this morning. If you're not a subscriber, the best you can do right here, right now, is to tap that subscribe button. Yes, of course. Well, concerning this update, Huriwa, a group that have been calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu for a very long time. Yes, for a very, 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 very long time. They just renewed their call for Nnamdi Kanu's release. They said that the federal government should release him unconditionally. Yes, and the federal government to give the southeast states each 100 billion naira to build their economy. Yes, because it was the arrest, or we like call it a kidnapping, of Simon Ekpa by the federal government that caused this economic downturn in the southeastern region of the country. The southeast was one of the biggest economic hub in Nigeria, and look at how it is now because of one man, because of injustice. The people in the southeast respect him more than their state governors. I'm telling you the fact. He's very influential, and he did nothing wrong, and the federal government just want to silence him forever. Yes, that's why Huluwa said that release Nnamdi Kanu and give 100 billion naira each to the southeastern state and let them rebuild their lives back. I'm telling you the facts. Huluwa, which means Human Rights Association of Nigeria, called for the release of Nnamdi Kanu again. For I myself, I cannot count the times that Huluwa have called for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I myself, I know if you can't. Not just Huluwa, a lot of groups too have called for the release of the Kanu, but it looks like the president himself is deaf or something, or he's intentionally doing what he's doing. hmm Because it is quite surprising that group big politicians are calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and Tinubu is not saying anything. Tinubu has not even said anything. Like the last time Tinubu said Nnamdi Kanu's name was when he was campaigning for presidency. When he came to Owerri State and said if he become president, he will release Nnamdi Kanu. That was the last time Tinubu said Nnamdi Kanu. But since then, no. Why even said that the cause of the southeastern economic downturn, like because of the way everything is bad in southeast, and because of the agitation in the southeast, is because of the marginalization that the whole of Nigeria is inflicting on the southeast. They have 100% marginalized them, cutting them from key political posts. And you're telling us one Nigeria, while you cannot even let us to become president or something. That is bad. That is the thing that is causing all this agitation. We don't know it. That's why the Southeast wanted to live away back in 1960. That was why the Southeast and the South still want to break away from this entity called Nigeria, because of Nigeria is not working for anybody. Conserve. There's no opportunity in this country. Yes, there's no good minimum wage. There's nothing in this country. So we are more focused now in building our economy. Biafrans have said it countless times. Releasing the Kanu first, then we'll know where we're going to. What do you guys think? Tell me. What do you guys think? Drop a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Then tap the subscribe button as we go down with the notification bell, so that anytime I have a new video, you'll be the first to get notified about it. Once again, thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful day ahead of you.